Okay, our topic for today is Java encapsulation. I will try my best to explain it in an easier way. Okay, so what is encapsulation? So it is an OOP technique used to hide data from direct access. If you say encapsulation, it's just like from the word capsule. So mostly sa mga capsule, kay na siya hidden something, or if you're going to open the capsule, na siya marag powder inside. Okay, so this is how encapsulation works. So in OOP, it is used to hide data from the direct access. So ato pang ipang-hide ang mga variables. So if you're familiar with the private variables, diba? Uban kay we're going to public your variable so that ma-access nimo ang imong variable sa laing classes. But here, in encapsulation, we're going to hide those variables. Ato silang i-hide, ato silang isulod sa capsule para ang ubang mga classes dili ka access niya. The only na maka-access niya is the class itself, Robot. Okay, by using the getter and setter. Later on, I'm gonna discuss getter and setter. Okay. So, what is how to use the encapsulation? So, it declares attribute as private. So, we have here modifiers, the class name, and then curly bracket. And inside of that is the private attributes. And we have here the practical example. So, public user class. And then inside is na atay tuluka. I know it's 4. So, we have user ID, username, first name and last name. Kaninga person, actually, di ba, pwede man nato mausa ang username, first name, and last name. Since they have the same data type na string. But here, ako lang gibulag, it's because username is different category of first name and last name. I guess we have to secure our username as well as the user ID. So another reason of the encapsulation is to secure the data, especially the value of your variables. For example, your user ID or even your username. Diba? So we have to protect those data. So that's another way why are we going to use the encapsulation. Next, we have the getters and setters. But before that, I'm gonna have an example for this. I'm gonna open my Java. I'm gonna create another project. Okay, so here in project name, okay, this one, you're going to write your last name. Okay, but for me, sa ako, I'm going to put encapsulation. Sorry. And after that, gonna create package. Okay, you know what is package, diba? Masyag directory sa atong mga classes as well as a main class. Okay, so we have here new class. Click sa ako ang main because we need the main method and encapsulation. So you cannot Java. Ay, sorry. So gonna put the name. Okay, and then gonna create another class na, but subclass, which is user. Try to create user. No need to check the main string, the main method, since we have main already. So you have to create the subclass. Sa Java, sa Eclipse, no need to click the public static void main string if you're going to create a subclass, and click finish. Okay. Now, I'm gonna create a private variables. So, ako lang i-separate, it's because para na ako like siya category. Mas, we need to secure this one. Kung mahimo, pwede na ito ni default. That one. ganan dyan mo mas secure dyan ang username and user ID, we have to set the variable as private. Okay, so this is how encapsulation works. Okay, so if matuto sa atoong main, i-instantiate na to sila, diba? So you have to call the user and then identifier is equals to new user. I hope hindi mo malimot ani semicolon, diba? But if you're going to access this one, kaning atoong variables sa PCAS is so dito identifier period and then the name of our attribute unta, no? So we have here user ID, for example, user ID. So if user ID look error siya, error siya because ato mong siyang gi-private, so which means di niya ma-access ang atoong variable sa PCAS, diba? So that's a good thing in encapsulation. It's because iyang i-secure ang data, ba? Iyang i-hide ang data. So let's continue with this. We have to create construction, diba? If you remember, so the construction name must be the same with the name of your class, and then I'm gonna put the parameter. Then don't forget the syntax in creating a construction. So it must be a bracket, not semicolon. And then after that, don't forget that this keyword. After that, since nagbutang man tag arguments, so how to access these arguments. So baliktad dire, still remember, diba, not kuan man tag na instantiating. So user, the new is equals to new user. Pero since naman tayo parameter, gonna put the value inside of our parameter. User ID is, it's integer, diba? And then I'm gonna write the username. Okay, John. And then John. 1, 2, 3. Then first name and the last name. John Reyes. Okay. So here, gi-instantiate na nato atong class dire, but if ato siyang i-call like q dot user ID, di nato sila ma-access, diba? Like if we're going to set error ni siya, like supposed to be kani ato i-change, we try to access the user ID but the user ID is not visible because ato man lang i-private, diba? So that's how. And then after that, if you want nga is set, like, diba, here ato man i-butang value ng atong variable, pero here sa user ID pwede nato ni siya ma-change, pero di nato siya ma-automatic change dire, no? Dili siya pwede. So what we're going to use is we have to use the setter and getter. So according here, what is setter and getters? So these are the methods to use to get and set encapsulated variables. So to access encapsulated variables, dapat na magamit og getters and setters. So here we have the method to use to get and set encapsulated variables. So this one is how to set user ID, and it's a method, actually, method na siya. And to set, I mean to get a user ID, yan nila. So just integer, I mean the data type, and then let's just put get user ID para ma-identify nato nga mag-get din siya. And then kaning taas is a set user ID. And then close and open parenthesis bracket. And here we just return the user ID. Ato lang gi-return ang variable the user ID. So this is how we write. I mean, this is how we get and this is how we set. Okay, for example, here. Okay. So, this one, na naman tayo setter. So, pwede na nato ma-change ng Vicas. Okay. So, for example, set user ID may nakabutang. So, gonna put set user ID. Okay. And then set user ID. Yeah, I'm gonna put parameter. So it's an integer. Is it error? Let's try. Sorry. I'm sleepy. There's no equal. Sorry. Okay. So this one. So here. Okay, there's no equals. I'm sorry with that. That's why remembering a syntax is very important. So, yan. So, pwede na nato siyang ma-set as user ID. So, if going to run this one, okay, this none. Because wala pa man ta nag-display, di ba? So, since wala pa man siya, igo raman tang nag-set. So, how to access the user ID? Of course, according here is we have to use the get. Okay. And how to get. So, we have here integer and then get user ID. So, for example, so the data type, and then get user ID, open and close, then bracket, gonna return, igulatang mo return sa user ID. So this is how we get the user ID, this is how we set the user ID. And then, so I guess okay na siya. So here, to access our user ID, here, ato naman siyang giset. So we create a method here para lang maset nato siya. Kaya di man ta basta-basta, like, itong una kay we gonna access it directly here. Diba? But now, since ato man siyang gi-private, just to hide something, to hide a variable or to make secure sa atong variable. So, ato siyang encapsulation. And then, gonna use this one as a set, and this one is a get. And then, after that, we're done with setting and getting. Then here, ato mo siyang giset. So, we have to get the user ID. So, how? This one, and then get. Pwede na natin lang ma-get. Okay. But to get is you have to put. We have to declare here that the ID is integer. Something like that. So, this is the variable. So, atong gikuan nga si ID is integer. So, kani si ID, we have to get it from the user ID nga atong giset, which is 1245. So to display this one, the one we set and the one we get, is just type the system.out that print line, then see ID ra. Okay, ato lang gikuha ang value ni ID, which is this one, and ID is what? An integer. Okay, what's the value of ID? The one we get in our user ID. Okay, what's with the user ID? Ansay naa sa user ID. Atong giset. Diba? Here. Gonna set user ID. So, sa may value niya, it's 1245. So, if we're gonna run this one. So, it's 1245. Something like that. This is how we secure data. Like, kung makita variable dire data automatic, i-call na to sila dire. Okay. Like, tinato sila automatic access. We have to use the encapsulation so that our variables, especially if mag-user ID ka, or username, diba? We're done with the get return user ID. Ating continue ha. So, let's have to set the first name as well as the last name. Okay. After setting the first name and last name, ato na po siyang i-access through get. So, string and then get the first name and then just return the value, the variable here, last name. So I guess this one is completed. And here, of course, so first name again here, have the last name. So if we want to set the first name and last name, so it's u dot set natin say first name, pwede na natin sila ma-set. For example, Claire, and then another is, see, ma-access na to sila by using, no, look, pwede na natin silang ma-access by using the setters and getters. Without this, di natin sa ma-access ang atoong first name, last name. It's because ato silang gi-hide. Okay? That one. And clear. So, ito run. Okay. Since, oh, sorry, it's a string, so I have to put that one here too. Pasensya na po. It's a trial and error. And then after that is, so we have to get the fn and the ln. So what is the user here? So anong pangalan natin dito sa get, the get name. So copy this to get first name, and we're gonna get the last name. Another error. I'm gonna check it. Oh, sorry. This is fine. It's sorry. Cannot convert. Sorry. It's error because, sorry, it's a string Okay. Yeah, actually, I'm doing the trial and error. Okay lang, para naman makaunahan na ako. And quite sleepy too. So, medyo, ano. And then, gonna display Fn and Ln. So, we're gonna print the Fn, which is the first name, and Ln, which is the last name. So, we're gonna run this one. Okay, so 1245, which is this one, user ID. Then Claire, I set, like, I change the first name from John to Claire. Reset na ko siya. And then, last name is Reyes to Duran. Okay, so that's how we set. But, what if kanilang akong kaon? Like, I don't want to set lang. So, how to do that? This one. Kanila. Sabihan ko, dili ako mag-set. Get lang. I write lang. Okay, so how to do that? Let's explore. I guess let's just remove this one. I need to set. And then here too. I need to set. Here, no need to set. Let's just get the value. Okay, so like that. So we're gonna run it. Yeah, the one. Without this, if di na to ni siya kwaon, I mean, if wala ni sila, I mean, the get and the set, if wala na sila, then di na to makuha ang mga value sa atong variable. It's because naka-private siya. So, that's how encapsulation works. Like, iyang i-secure, iyang i-hide ang mga value sa atong variable here sa atong main. Unlike itong una, if kung unsa to ibutang sa atong variable, automatic pwede na to ma-access na yun. For security, to make it, to secure data. So, let's hide it by using this one, private. And to access this one, we have to use the get as well as the set. The set is if you want to change the variable here, pwede na to sila set. Just like what we did kanina. Ang Control Z lang ko. Okay. Okay. So, gaset ko, it's because I want to change the value here as well as kani. And to access it, we have to get. Of course, how to get, we have to use the return value. So, this is how encapsulation works. I guess mas maayo pag to secure data, of course, we have to encapsulate our variables and call it or access it by using getters and setters. So, it's your turn. Your next activity is you're going to create encapsulation. Okay. So, how to access the variables? You cannot access it directly if you're going to use the private sa atong variables. Of course, you have to use the getters and setters. That's encapsulation. Okay, so let's do the hands-on for this. Okay, good night everyone. See ya.